The Influencer's Edge is brought to you by the Rapid Sales Accelerator. If you're ready to skyrocket your sales by 30% or more in just 90 days, then you need to claim your free training right now. You'll learn 4 words that will compel your prospects to trust you like they were children within the first 3 to 5 minutes of any conversation across any platform and any medium. You'll learn how to give your prospects objection amnesia, to crush objections like, I need to talk to my spouse, or I need more time to think it over, or it's too expensive. If you'd like to claim your free training now, go to www.paulrossbook.com. Do it before your competition does it now. Welcome to the Influencer's Edge. This is the place where you come to get the latest breakthroughs, cutting-edge insights, tools, and techniques to leapfrog over the pack in sales, persuasion, and influence. Be sure you visit our website at www.theinfluencersedge.com. And while you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now sit back, tune in, and enjoy today's episode. All right, welcome back to the Influencer's Edge. As you know, this is the show that disconnects the dots, thinks outside the box, and colors outside the lines. And I endeavor to do my very best to bring you guests that embody that. We'll see if our guest today lives up to it. I have a feeling based on our green room conversation, we will welcome Lin
Yuan-Su.
Lin Yuan-Su. I love it. Ooh, Lin Yuan-Su.
You got it, Paul.
We were commenting just before the show started on the color of her blouse. I have a fuchsia suit that is fuchsia, so I love that color. Let's dive into your bio, which I guarantee I will not finish. and we just make the whole show about the bio. So Lin Yuan-Su is a transformational success coach. Pause right there. Transformational is used so much. I'm a hypnotist, so I spell it trans-formational. But I want to know, what in the world do you mean by transformational? How do you know, first of all, what does that mean? Second, how do you know when your clients have achieved it? How do they know when they've achieved it?
Yeah, great question, Paul. Well, my English is my second language. So if you pick up an accent, it's because this is not my first language, okay? And transformation is very simple. For me, I explain it in a way that is so simple, where you have a form, result. Form to me means result. You have a life result right now, and you would love to have something different. So therefore, transformation. You have from point A to point B. That's how simple it is. How do folks know that they have gone through transformation? Simple again, is you notice what is your result in today, and you think about, okay, what was my result last year? You do a comparison, and you can say, oh, it's the same old. And or you can say, you know what? I made a decision a year before to change my result, and today I can say that I achieved some result change or completely reshift of my life, that I want something that I wanted. That's another very important component. How I support my clients is not just change results. Yeah, we can change the results to whatever. It's very important is to change the result to the way that you want, you really like. You really would love to have that kind of a shift in your life.
Okay. When I hear the word transformation, being a healer and a change worker, I'm thinking also of shifting beliefs, of letting go of trauma and that sort of thing. Would you include, is that a necessary, it's sort of a loaded question because I know what your answer is going to be. Would you say that that's a necessary element of achieving that?
It's, I believe that's a requirement. Yeah, I read your bio too. So I know part of what you do is absolutely so important in this entire process of transformation. The result that we see in our life, doesn't matter what it is, might be your health, might be, you attracted the love of your life, might be you got promoted to the CEO position, whatever that you want, this transformation, it does not come from the result change, it's come from the internal change first. of course, what is holding us back is always ourselves. Part of it is trauma, past, old beliefs that doesn't serve us anymore, but it's still there. It requires healing, 100%.
All right, so let's dive into that part. So since it requires healing, do you have any practices that you have your clients engage in to assist with that healing? Because you're not a psychotherapist. I don't think psychotherapy works very well for the most part. There are some modalities that do. So how do you help clients deal with, first, let's deal with limiting beliefs. Because even though they often they arise from trauma, it's easier, I think, to handle those. So how do you help your clients identify limiting beliefs and then shift them?
Yes, that's really the first tool I always give all of my clients is to notice what you're noticing. What it means is notice what's happening between your 2 ears. What are you thinking? How do you feel? And from there, then we have awareness to say, okay, there are certain thoughts that I don't feel good about. Again, English is not my first language. I explain it in a very, very simple way.
You're
If
fine.
you don't feel good, then that means your thinking is not supporting you to have a very beautiful life. Because when you're thinking about that life, you feel different. And during this entire process, I always tell my clients, it's not the process that I support my clients going through is not to look for their limiting beliefs. Because whatever you're looking for, you're going to grow that. We don't want to grow limiting beliefs. We want to create crystal clear vision. We focus on that. Along the way, whatever is not, those limiting beliefs, past trauma will rise up. If they're limiting beliefs, then it's my job to support them to shift. There are times when I'm supporting my clients, we both parties can feel, yeah, it is time for my clients to explore other healers like yourself to really receive the part that I cannot provide. And that's a part that they know they need in that moment to deal with past trauma, to deal with whatever that is required to be processed and let go of. So most part, I support my clients, and sometimes it is a team approach.
Very wise and very humble and very transparent of you. And by the way, your English is much better than my Mandarin or my Cantonese.
Thank you.
I know a few words. I know how to swear, but we're not going to.
That's good.
All right.
That's very good.
Helps high achieving professional simply simplify their path to success. That's good. So they can create lives they love without burnout. Oh my, burnout's a big one. Isn't burnout real? I think the more successful you get, however that's defined, the greater the chances of burnout because you lose sight. Would you say part of that is because you lose sight of your mission? You're so caught in the day to day getting things done as an entrepreneur that you lose sight of your vision?
Absolutely, Paul. That is one of the reason I shifted career to become a life coach. I was somebody you might consider as a type A. I am going to do this. I can achieve great result. I can do great, success. And I did that in my previous career. I was a registered dietitian.
Oh,
Working,
wonderful.
yes, thank you. Working my butt off to get to that point. I didn't know it was so competitive to become a registered dietitian, and I couldn't even pronounce the word dietitian when I started. That was a side story. Anyhow, so I worked my butt off to receive that, and then I started working in healthcare. I was just really exactly what you said. I lost track of my mission in life. I didn't even know what it was. I just thought, have a steady job, get a fancy title, get paid well. That was the mission in life. I was so miserable in it. And I experienced tremendous burnout. Exactly what you said. I lost mission of my life. What really matters for me. That's why I feel, yes, the higher you go, the more success, however you define success, the higher chance of your burnout if you do not connect with yourself. A lot of people don't even know why they do what they do. They're just like, this is what I do. Is
Or
that
they're
that
doing it to please
We come from different cultures, but there are a lot of similarities in our cultures.
Yes.
You have, and I mean no disrespect, I'm sorry if it's racist.
Oh.
You have the dragon mom, and we have the
Yeah.
Jewish mom, and it's the same thing standing over us, and it's never good enough. If I brought home all A's, the highest marks, my mother would say, "Did any other kids get A's?" And if I got A pluses, she would say, "Did any other kids get A pluses?" It was never good enough. And
Yeah.
are you familiar with this idea? And
both hands and both feet. I'll put. I'm standing, so I'm not going to put my feet up. Energetically, I am very much so, and that is talking about limiting beliefs. If we're being taught from a very young age on a regular basis, you're not good enough. You're not good enough. Guess what? That's just kind of like that part in our subconscious. And that is a part that when you are ready to go for what's possible, what you would love, and whatever your next level of success is, that part is going to say, you're not good enough, so you'd better come back and stay in this part, in this path that you're familiar. And even though you are miserable in this, and to step out of it, that takes courage. And to change that thinking pattern requires support, whether it's me or anybody wise people like yourself. We're in the world.
Just because I have this doesn't mean I'm wise. Trust me. Just ask my ex-girlfriends who would tell you you'd have to be a masochist to date me. But I think there's a distinction between never mind. It's a distinction without a difference. So let's keep going. Without burnout, confusion, hustle that no longer serves them. Oh boy, you're right. Her clients are Ivy League grads, have those in the family, leaders and entrepreneurs who've achieved a lot, yet feel something is missing. Deep down, they know they're meant for more. Oh yeah, but they're stuck trying to figure it out the hard way. You know, this realization that you're meant for more, it takes a lot of courage, but I even think it takes defiance to fly in the face of not wanting to jump into uncertainty. I think one of the biggest, and I would like to get your feedback on this. This is not about me, it's about you, this show. Have you found with your clients, even more than fear, it's the aversion to uncertainty and the aversion to confusion that's an equal element of stopping them from taking that action. They don't like confusion. Confusion to confront what's been stopping you is going to create confusion. What do you think the role of confusion is in stopping people from taking these steps?
Right. I believe this is what I also support my clients with. All of our thoughts can be classified either, it really come either from fear or love. It shows up differently. Confusion is how fear shows up. So instead of saying, I have a clear vision, I know exactly what I want to do, I'm motivated to do it, and this confusion shows up, or fear shows up to say, don't take that move. But it doesn't say that. It says, I'm going to make you confused. I personally experienced that when I was just about to say yes to work with my mentor, my coach at the highest level. I felt so confused to the point where it's like, I got disoriented. Where am I? Because part of me really wants to move forward, and the part of me that is familiar wants me to stay put.
This is so much a part of the conflict of human beings. So much a part. I had a side gig, I still do, of coaching men who are terrified of women. And I always say it's like you're feeling like you're being torn apart. Part of you wants to step over and say hello. The other part wants to stay right where you are or move backwards. And you're turning yourself into a wishbone that breaks. Yes, I understand. This is a wonderful skill that you're bringing to your clients to help them resolve this and to help them and assist them with their courage. I wonder if you've ever considered this. As I'm sitting here talking to you and listening to the job you do, have you ever thought of yourself as a healer?
Ooh, I think I get goosebumps. Thank you, Paul. It's an honor for you to even say that. Part of me is saying I'm not good enough. That's Part of me saying, "Oh, you're not good enough to be a healer." And my truth is that I know this is what I'm meant to do in life. However, other people address me, if they want to look at me as a healer, I take that as an incredible honor and privilege to do this work, because that's why I changed career, because I want to make a meaningful impact in other people's lives, whatever it would be. I was not getting that working as a dietitian.
I'll tell you
Talking
why
about,
I say it, Lynn.
sorry?
I'll tell you why I say this.
Uh-huh.
Because when you help people, I mean when you help people overcome limiting beliefs and you help them find the courage to face their confusion and transform their fear into the love of their life, that is a profoundly healing thing you're doing. So I want to say from my heart and my brilliant Jewish brain, I think you're doing healing work. Whether you've
Oh,
ever recognized that about yourself or not, I don't know. And of course, you're going to write a custom dietary plan for me now that I've heaped the praise on you. I know I'm doing fine.
yeah.
I dropped 23 pounds just eliminating anything that came out of a box and that
Yeah.
was white or fried.
Isn't
Uh,
that powerful?
yeah, it is.
Amazing.
So Lynn shows him a different path, one that's rooted in clarity. I love it. Ease and alignment. Her approach blends mindset mastery, spiritual alignment. Oh, push the pause button. That word spiritual is like the word quantum, quantum vitamins, quantum deodorant, quantum, you name it. So, what in the world? If I say spiritual, I could mean I bathe in patchouli and light candles and chant. I happen to practice Buddhism. That's my form of spirituality, but that's me.
Hmm.
I wouldn't call myself a Buddhist, but I adhere to the precepts and do the practices. So, what do you mean by spirituality? What do you mean by spiritual?
Yeah. Yeah. First of all, I do not associate with, I am not associated with any religious practice. That's just me. I believe we are spiritual beings having a human experience. I believe in higher power, this higher power that's breathing me, that's making my heart beat. I believe that the spirit is, I have a spiritual side of me. And talking about the wishbone being pulled to two sides, there is a spiritual side of me is capable of anything, is only knows love and potential, and it's truly limitless. And it's my humanness navigating through this journey that wants to protect my humanness. There's when fear shows up. That's in part of my human DNA. There's when limitation comes in. Is I believe my work start with myself, and that's how I support my clients, is to navigate through this entire journey of spirituality is knowing there's more. Spirituality is, hear those intuition, even though it's totally not logical, yet be willing to follow that. It's me, somebody just have that connection, and it's not like this person is totally not my logical type, but I feel this chemistry.
Oh
That what
boy,
I
have I
believe is
gotten into
coming.
trouble? Have I gotten into trouble with that on a personal level? Oh my God. Restraining orders, not from me, but not for me, but on the other side. Here's why I want to challenge you. I think
Yeah.
intuition often is just wishful thinking masquerading as wisdom. I think intuition has to be balanced. Love, intuition, enthusiasm has to be balanced with discernment. You have to have discernment and a healthy degree of skepticism and clear thinking. And clear thinking is just not taught. By clear thinking, I mean principles of reason, logic, critical thinking, particularly if you're in business. I'm in the process of negotiating a business deal. And I'm very enthusiastic. If it works, it'll bring me a lot of money. But my discernment is going, no, 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 no. I don't trust it. Let's have the lawyer go over every clause. So I just want to throw out that challenge there, the intuition. Do you agree or disagree? Do you think I'm full of shit? You can say, Paul, you're full of shit if you want to. I don't mind. You've probably never been on a show where the host says, go ahead and say it. Do you think intuition sometimes gets mixed up with wishful thinking?
You're absolutely right, Paul, because intuition is one of our mental faculties. Is how we communicate with this wisdom, and we communicate with that wisdom through our own human interpretation. Sometimes it shows up. We think it's our intuition, but we haven't developed our intuition to certain maturity yet. And it is, like you said, it's wishful thinking. And sometimes we jump the gun coming from ego, not coming from this relaxed and detached discernment. And discernment is wise, is spiritual maturity. True intuition is spiritual maturity. I believe as long as I am breathing, as long as anybody is breathing, we can always develop our intuition.
Yes.
There's so much wisdom in it. It's never an end to it.
I've only been able to do it through a meditation practice, through Vipassana, through insight meditation, which is a 2,500-year-old practice. We won't go into it, but I think that it's not, I'll put it to you this way, developing the intuition and also having discernment are not natural human skills. They have to be practiced like a muscle. Don't get too excited. They have to be practiced like a muscle. Look at the gun show there. Okay, I'm sure you can beat me. See, I told you this was not the normal interview, did I not?
I love this.
Okay.
I love this. This is real.
This is real. And practical strategy to help clients cut through the noise, reconnect with their truth, and create extraordinary results from a place of flow. Ooh, I love that. Flow is one of my, I love that word. With a master's degree in nutrition and a successful career in healthcare. Oh boy, let me ask you, let's take a sidetrack. So you have a master's in science, a master's of science in human nutrition, which means you probably had to deal with doctors, MDs, and they know nothing about this. Is that correct? And I just want to take a sidetrack. Would you say they know almost nothing?
That's my comment. The ones actually, one of my clients is actually a specialist and an internist, and she is very just open and willing, and she's one of the top physicians in her area.
Oh, okay.
And I've also worked with doctors who are just like, no, science and spirituality do not mix. So I've met both.
Yeah, I'm also thinking this is an idea I want to throw out to you. I've been in places where my mind was occluded simply by what I was eating. People do not understand how if you don't eat right, you're just not going to be in a place for transformation, for progress, because your body's not going to process right. You'll have brain fog. I had all these things. I have naturopathic doctors who healed me nicely. Do you at any point bring in that to your clients and say, look, no, I guess it's a stupid question. I'm sure the answer is no. You don't do that with your clients.
Well, Paul, this is on a sidetrack. I married a Chinese medicine doctor.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So that's it.
All right. A spontaneous declaration during a speech. Ooh, tell us about that. A spontaneous, that's not like spontaneous human combustion when people just catch fire for no reason. What is a spontaneous declaration? I've never heard that term. I love it.
The story was I was in this career path, very from the outside, very successful. People are like, oh, look at you, you have it all together. I'm married to the love of my life. And then I got pregnant. My son was born. And then I had a year off. Here in Canada, back then we have a full year of maternity leave.
Oh, wow.
But I was so miserable. I was not fulfilled by that career path. I was at the same time, I was very afraid to leave it because it was a steady job. It was secure income, everything, yada, yada. But it didn't stop me from stay open to what's possible. So I went back to work after my maternity leave, and I started doing other businesses, and for the first time I was being introduced to personal development. I had never done anything in that nature or anything nothing.
Wow.
Until that point, I was like 35 already.
What was your first introduction? Who, Tony Robbins or?
It was he was part of it. It was through network marketing.
Oh, goodness
Yeah.
gracious.
Yes. I started
Started.
network.
Don't get
Yes.
started.
Well, and that was I think I was on this quest for, I know life, there's more in me. I know life is more. What is it? I was actually preparing to apply for medical school at the time. That's logical, right? That's reasonable. That's logical. My parents got to love that.
Of course. Dragon Mom will be pleased.
Yeah. And at the same time, another dietitian I went to school with introduced this network marketing thing with me. My ego got so inflated. I was literally thinking, oh my God, seriously, I'm too good to sell hand lotions and lipsticks. That was in my head. So naturally, I said yes. But now knowing what I know, that was just really the universe way of guiding me through my path. Because without that, I would not have never done any personal development to really understand the power behind our awareness. And I start to coaching my team. And I realized, wow, I really love to give people a different perspective and to support them to feel lighter and easier in the struggles they have in any area of their life. And that is when I was invited back to the university I graduated from to give a talk as a dietitian. So that was the spontaneous thing. I walked into the room and there was a whole bunch of students and they all wanted to become a dietitian. So they look at me, somebody who's already a dietitian, they're like, oh, share tips and tell us how you can become dietitian. I just said, hi, my name is Lin. I am a registered dietitian and a life coach. Those three words just came out.
Oh, wow.
I didn't even know why. I didn't intend to say it. Afterwards, I was surrounded by students. And a few of them were like, yeah, it's amazing. Your stories as a dietitian is so inspirational. Most of them asked me about questions as a life coach.
Wow.
And I was like, I didn't even know what I was doing. I just opened my mouth.
But
that's
you
the
know
story.
what? You know what? I'll share this with you. If I had to think through all the things I would need to do to be where I am, I never would have done it. I never would have done it. And I never, if you had said to me 30 years ago, you'd create a worldwide community of pickup artists and all the other things I've done in my other careers, I'd say you're crazy. But I think oftentimes if we did know all the steps we have to take, we wouldn't do it. We have to just have a balance between having a logical path forward and taking a leap of faith. They're not contradictory, they're complementary. And on that note, we actually are out of time. We've done it. Can you believe 30 minutes has flown by?
Amazing. This is amazing.
I told you that this would be a different kind of interview, and I've thoroughly enjoyed, and your English is excellent. Please don't.
Thank you.
I'll tell you off the air what I know how to say in Cantonese.
Looking forward to that.
Well, I do know Shay Shay, right? Shay Shay is
thank you. That's thank you.
And I know Chin Chin. Chin Chin is to your health, or no? No. Never mind. Never mind. That's like, all right. Stay with me. I know my audience is going to want to stay in the conversation with you. So how can they stay in touch with you? What do you got for us?
Yeah, I would. I have a website, an email, a phone number. Find me on social media. Any way of that I can support you. Okay. If you just feel like I can do that, yeah.
We will put all your email. We will put all your contact information in the show notes. And so thanks for being our guest. I just want to say, as I always do when I close these episodes, thanks for tuning into the Influencer's Edge and to the hostile alien armada hovering in your cloaked spaceships just outside of Earth's atmosphere. Remember, eat the Canadians first. We'll see you on the next episode.
The Influencer's Edge is brought to you by the Rapid Sales Accelerator. If you're ready to skyrocket your sales by 30% or more in just 90 days, then you need to claim your free training right now. You'll learn 4 words that will compel your prospects to trust you like they were children within the first 3 to 5 minutes of any conversation across any platform and any medium. You'll learn how to give your prospects objection amnesia, to crush objections like, I need to talk to my spouse, or I need more time to think it over, or it's too expensive. If you'd like to claim your free training now, go to www.paulrossbook.com. Do it before your competition does it now. Thank you for tuning in to the Influencer's Edge, where you get the latest breakthroughs, cutting-edge insights, tools, and techniques so you can leapfrog over the pack in sales, influence, and persuasion. Remember to visit our website at www.theinfluencersedge.com to enjoy even more great episodes like this one. We look forward to seeing you again on the Influencer's Edge Show.